coming sort of out of obscurity, political obscurity, to support what we are trying to do. One of the things I think that has sort of really led to deterioration of trust in politics are successive Home Secretaries telling us crime is falling. You hear it every year, crime is falling, so please don't worry your poor little heads. Well, that's because the crime survey for England and Wales is based on completely false data. If you look at police recorded crime, which is what we've done for our research all through this, you can see that actually there are some significant rises in crimes of all kinds, particularly crimes against the person. We're actually facing, in many parts of our country, nothing short of societal collapse. If people are scared to go out to the shops, scared to let their kids out, that is a society that is degrading, and it's happening very, very rapidly. I'm astonished that there has been so little debate in Westminster amongst our political classes on this issue, because I'm sure they must, in their MPs' inboxes, get members of the public telling them just how grim things really are. Sarah mentioned the word respect. Respect for those in uniform has declined massively. The criminals don't particularly respect the police and can act in many cases with total impunity. Just as worrying, if not more so, is huge numbers of law-abiding, tax-paying Britons have also lost respect for the police, but in a different way. The idea, the concept that we're living in a system of two-tier policing and two-tier justice under two-tier care has really taken hold. You only have to look at the reluctance to prosecute those violent thugs in Manchester Airport who beat up those police officers. It took months and months and months for any prosecution to be brought, and I suspect the reason that it happened is because Reform said if they didn't, we would take out our own private prosecution. And yet, Lucy Connolly and others like that, and she received a 31-month prison sentence, albeit for saying something deeply intemperate and wrong, of that there's no question. Her case was dealt with in days. So we are in a real, real mess. Just looking and thinking about London for today, London, 1 in 3 people at some point have been subject to phone theft. It's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable. The number's so big. Had a case in my family a few months ago. Somebody at Victoria Station, a relation of mine, punched, phone taken, but they had a tracker on the phone, so we could see exactly where the phone was going. And I assume it wasn't just one phone, there would have been a couple of hundred phones. We even gave the police the address of the house in southern Buckinghamshire where the phones had gone to. The police took no action whatsoever. And you can just walk down Oxford Street, Regent Street any day, and you can see the moped gangs running amok with hardly anybody ever being arrested. Shoplifting in London, and by the way, when I give you these figures, these are the reported figures. Bear in mind that most of us now don't even bother to report crime. We can't see the point. If it comes to theft from our properties, we worry what it might do to our insurance premiums, and most people don't report stuff because what is the point? But quite extraordinary that in London alone, shoplifting should be up by 150% since 2021. Muggings in London, up 26% just in the last 2 years. But I sense, again, many people, frankly, just too embarrassed to report the fact that they have been mugged. And actually, crime is another reason why people are leaving London. John Friedrichsen, the shipping magnate, he's going, taking his billions with him, saying London has gone to hell. Tourists are increasingly reluctant to come to London because they know what is likely to happen to them once they arrive. So it is a very, very serious problem. But there's a parallel from which I think we can draw great inspiration. I worked in the 1980s for a couple of Wall Street houses in my days in the commodity markets, and I remember if you left a restaurant in New York at 8, 9 o'clock at night, you made sure the taxi was there, waiting, the guy gave you a wave, so that you literally spent sort of 5 or 10 seconds leaving the venue. So bad was street crime in New York. And yet, 10 years later, you could wander about New York at 2 o'clock in the morning, being really unconcerned that anything would go wrong. And this, of course, was the inspirational mayor, Rudy Giuliani, who followed the broken windows theory, which is if you deal with crime, if you deal with graffiti, you deal with litter, you deal with things at the ground level, that actually